Today we will be discussing the Ottawa Tribe and the trials they faced throughout history and in this modern day. Before the European discovery of the Americas, the Ottawa Tribe roamed the land along rivers and streams. After the initial discovery and colonization, problems began to present themselves. They fought with colonists and faced the problems they brought with them. They fought with other tribes and worked through unjust treaties and treatments, all of which contributing to the mass destruction of people and removal from land alike.
Ottawa is derived from the Indian word Ottawa, meaning traders, because for a long time they were known as intertribal traders and barterers. They called themselves Anishinaabe, meaning original people. After migrating from the East Coast, they settled on Lake Huron, Michigan's Upper Peninsula. They considered this area their original homeland. The Ottawa were a part of an alliance called the Council of Three Fires with the Owoju and Potawatomi tribes. In 1615, the Ottawa Tribe had first contact with Europeans, meeting French explorer Samuel L. Champlain, soon becoming familiar with the fur trade and becoming big-time business partners with the French and British.
Although technically starting off on the East Coast in ancient times, many members of the Ottawa Tribe considered their settlement of the grassy and forestry Midwestern area of the United States and Canada their actual homeland. Lake Huron, as well as the other various lakes and streams that surround their tribe, became a huge part of their lifestyle. They used their land and resources to make communal longhouses, fish using canoes, forage for various fruits and vegetables, and hunt for wild game. They did this while constantly moving, making them a semi-nomadic tribe. Here is a map of where the Ottawa Tribe lived throughout their history, including at one point Oklahoma.
The Ottawa Tribe is a tribe centered around culture and traditions. They followed the guidance of individuals such as their chief, town magicians, and spirits to aid in their problems. They developed legends of the river specifically regarding floods. They gave sacrifices to the evil spirits they believed dwelled below the earth and the godlike spirit they called Kechi Matnedo to prevent these floods. The Ottawa Tribe was also known by other tribes, like the Chippewa, as a wise tribe due to their bravery and knowledge. Their tribe was symbolized under the emblem of the moose. This symbol shows their power and strength they were said to have. As part of their culture, they celebrated after victory in war with large feasts and dances, all around the scalping of whomever they took as a trophy of their success. The reason for scalping was that they believed you maintained whatever form you currently had on earth after death, so this would cause eternal pain. The Ottawa were a tribe centered around strong religious beliefs and traditions, leading them to be a strong tribe among others. As I mentioned, the Ottawa followed the guidance of a leader. One of the strongest leaders of the Ottawa in war and tradition was Chief Pontiac, who led them in various efforts, including Pontiac's rebellion and the siege on Fort Detroit against the British.
The land that the Ottawa Tribe settled on possessed many important resources, one being fur from the animals. They started to trade with the French, and once it became a big thing, a trading post called Fort Detroit was built. Trade only became more successful, and with that, expanded to other European countries. Some arguments arose within the native groups with this trade, but nothing too serious, at least for the Ottawa. Over time, the Ottawa Tribe established themselves as allies with the French and even helped them out in the French-Indian War with raids on white Americans. After the Treaty of Paris, which ended this war, over the next several years, conflict and fighting would ensue, including many different rebellions and fights that never really helped the Ottawa too much and only hurt them. Over time, once the Ottawa were struggling to keep the Americans out of their land, in a last-ditch effort, they decided to join the British in the Revolutionary War to aid this. This did not work out for them in the end.
The Native Americans signed the Treaty of Detroit in 1807. In this treaty, they agreed to give the land of present-day southeast Michigan and northwest Ohio for a small portion of money from the United States government. Those who signed this treaty included the Ottawa, the Chippewa, the Wyandot, the Potawatomi, and the United States representative who organized it, named William Hull. In this treaty, they were promised the small portion of money as mentioned, as well as the ability to continue hunting and fishing on this land. The final aspect of this treaty was that the Native Americans were forced onto reservations and couldn't live on the other land ceded. This image shows the land ceded in the Treaty of Detroit. The land filled in green was the land given up. This spanned approximately 14 million acres.
The Indian Removal Act of 1830 meant that the Ottawa would lose their land once more. It meant that President Andrew Jackson could grant Native Americans land west of the Mississippi River in exchange for their land within existing states. This meant that the United States could force the Ottawa off their remaining land in Ohio, and they were moved to west of the Mississippi River, first to Iowa, then to Kansas. Within 5 short years, half of all Ottawa had died. In 1867, the dwindling Ottawa sold their land in Kansas and moved to Indian Territory in Oklahoma. Now much more than half of the people had perished. The Ottawa population was sitting around 200. The remaining 200 people in the tribe formed a deal with the Shawnee tribe to purchase land and form a reservation.
For a while, the Ottawa lived in peace in their new preserve, but in 1956, following years of Ottawa people moving back to their traditional homeland, the American government decided to no longer recognize them. And this wasn't the first time the American government refused to recognize the Ottawa tribe as shown prior. Extremely motivated, the Ottawa fought for years. The Ottawa finally got reinstated in 1978. The Ottawa tribe was reinstated as a federally recognized government when the Ottawa Council and U.S. Congress ratified the Constitution in 1979. But this just goes to show how hard it has been for the Ottawa people. They have had to fight for centuries just to be recognized.